with your host, Sean Myrie. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Tonight, we got a music episode, right? The one and only Drake Aubrey Graham. If you don't know, he's a world superstar, pop star, rapper. Some people may call him hip hop, some people may not call him hip hop. But from the beef that sparked a lot of controversy over a year ago, right? More than a year ago, it feels, like it could have been longer. Him and Kendrick Lamar, right? Kendrick, came with the Not Like Us, the big hit, what stand out over this whole beef, overshadowed this whole beef battle, and that really hurt Drake. Drake had his tracks, Kendrick had his tracks, but the Not Like Us really hurt Drake so much that Drake wants to sue everybody. It seems like, a lot of people been talking over this last over a year or so about the battle. A lot of content makers, including myself, people picking sides, people saying stands, and people saying, K-bots, people accusing each other of different things. It's just been crazy. But Drake's been hit with a lot of certain, lawsuits recently, but now he's hitting back too because he started with this whole court thing. Remember, Drake is the guy who started with this whole court thing. Like recent news is like he's saying that this is what he's saying, right? This is from hip hop news. Drake says judges dismissing Not Like Us lawsuit is dangerous in latest appeal because he appealed and they threw it out. They're not taking Drake seriously, right? UMG, that's who he wants to sue. UMG, and he's saying this defamation of character. Defamation of character. They're not like us, saying that they push that track and it defamed them, right? So he's saying, let me read it again. Drake says judges dismissing Not Like Us lawsuit is dangerous. Why is it a dangerous, right? In latest appeal. Now, he really wants to hit back with this because he's coming out with a new album soon, the Iceman album. The Iceman album, highly anticipated. A lot of people are waiting for it, right? So let me read this. Drake appeals Drake appeals dismiss of Not Like Us lawsuit claiming the judge created a dangerous rule protecting all rap diss tracks from defamation. Well, hip hop is hip hop. To defend the culture, this thing been going on for a long time. People been dissing each other back and forth. I never heard of any court cases regarding hip hop like that, right? Since 19 okay, so let's see now what is he saying. Drake refuses to back down from his legal war with Universal Music Group over Kendrick Lamar's Grammy-winning diss track. Whew, he's not giving up. I don't know if this is gonna help him. Is this promoting his album? His rollout. Okay, Okay, that's something old, right? Okay, so let's go back to original shit. Drake originally sued UMG in January of 2025 over the label's promotion of Not Like Us. The track's hook, Certified Lover Boy, Certified Pedophile, became a viral sensation during the explosive rap battle between the two superstars. So Drake is coming out once again because, coincidence, a guy who was supposed to be supporting him, J. Cole, is coming out with hit. Maybe did it come out the Fall Off album recently? So Drake is not giving up. He's not giving up, and I'm not surprised. He's really hurt by this whole UMG shit, right? So Judge Vargas dismissed the case in October, ruling that Lamar's lyrics were non what non I don't even know what their opinion rather than statements of fact. She said the song's context as part of the heated rap battle meant reasonable listeners wouldn't believe it contained viable facts. So the judge is making a decision not to really go through this because she feels that the audience, the people, the fans don't believe it, that it's fake, but actually people are believing it because content makers been pushing it, right? So let me read this again because she said non action actionable. So that's what she was saying. Let me read it again. Judge Vargas dismissed the case in October, ruling that Lamar's lyrics were non actionable opinion rather than statements of fact. She said the song's context as part of the heated rap battle meant reasonable listeners wouldn't believe it contained viable facts. So reasonable. Reasonable. Not everybody's reasonable nowadays. Everybody, some people believe on social media every things are for real. So she's saying that that's a diss to Drake. But Drake's new appellant brief pushes back hard against reason. His lawyers claim the song states as a unnamed, unambiguous matter of fact. Drake is a pedophile. What? They argue that Drake is not a pedophile. There's no evidence. That's just alleged. That's some shit what was in Kendrick's music, right? They argue UMG relentlessly marketed the track in ways that misled consumers and caused serious harm to Drake's reputation. That's what Drake is saying. This harmed his reputation and he doesn't like it. Can you blame him, right? The appeal warns that the lower court's decision could have massive consequences for hip hop. It's true. If this was to go through and Drake won, no one wants to do any more diss tracks. That's part of the culture, right? So it's kind of true. So let me read this. The appeal warns that the lower court's decision could have massive consequences for hip hop. Drake's team says the ruling creates an unprecedented and overboard categorical rule that statement in rap diss tracks can never constitute statements of fact. So, yo, Drake is battling the industry, man, really, and kind of the culture. That's what it's saying. He's battling the culture. So it's kind of crazy because he supports battle rap. He says he studied battle rap. I remember that shit. So, yo, his team is really going at it with him, right? They don't want to give up. That protection would apply regardless of how direct or damaging the accusations might be. According to the filing, Drake argues this gives artists and labels a free pass to make false claims they want as long as they deliver in diss track format. Shit. So yo, Drake, what's going on? I know he's hurt, straight up. He's hurt by this. He did not expect it to go this far. He didn't expect it to be something people kept talking about. But it's kind of hypocritical when he was dissing Meek Mill, and that was all right. And did that ruin Meek Mill's career? Maybe. I don't know. Right? The legal battle stems from the 9-track rap war, 9 tracks, right? That exploded in April 2024. Now it's 2026, right? Exploded in April 2024. Drake fired shots first with Family Matters in May, suggesting Lamar created his what? Lamar cheated. Kendrick Lamar cheated on his fiance and was physically violated with her. So Drake hit back saying that he abused his lady. Kendrick abused his lady. Can Kendrick do the same thing? Kendrick didn't go through with no court battle, right? Even though Drake brought that up in a diss. So what is that? It's kind of shaky, hypocritical. Lamar responded with back-to-back drops of Meet the Grams and Not Like Us. Later tracks, pedophile allegations became an instant hit, spawning countless memes and social media posts. Yes, it became crazy, still going on crazy. There's people who have special groups talking about the Drake and the Kendrick Lamar stuff. So even though they kicked it out, this whole case, right? I think he tried to appeal and then they threw that out. I think this might be the second appeal right now. And he's hitting it out before the Iceman's album drops. He's been doing the Iceman series online streaming and teasing people that he's going to drop the Iceman. I personally don't think he should drop the Iceman. I've been saying this months ago that it might flop, and now with this whole ICE controversy in America, with Trump and shit, and his title's called the Iceman, it's like kind of bad luck. This could be like a defamation type of thing going on. People don't make Kendrick come out with a new track, Drake. Just don't make him come out with like a new diss track, right? Not Like Us dominated the charts and swept the Grammys, which the Grammys is coming up next month, right? So yeah, Not Like Us dominated the charts and swept the Grammys, winning record and song of the year. Lamar performed the track during the Super Bowl. I remember that halftime show, cementing its place in hip hop history. So Drake wants to make hip hop history by winning this case of defamation. That's what it seems like. He wants to make history. UMG's lawyers previously called Drake's lawsuit a misguided attempt to solve the wounds after losing the rap battle. Is that true? Kind of, right? Like Drake, this is hip hop. I've been saying it over and over again. But people will defend and say, yo, the pedophile thing is too much. They went too far. All right? So let me read it again. UMG's lawyers previously called Drake's lawsuit a misguided attempt to solve his wounds after losing the rap battle. They argued that Drake provoked the beef, which he did. He started first. Remember that. He started first. He Family Matters, right? Oh, no, it wasn't Family Matters. Was it? Trying to remember. There's so much damn tracks. They're Not Like Us overshadowed everything, right? Provoked the beef and willingly participated before suing when things didn't go his way, saying it didn't go his way this time. So now he's angry like a crybaby, and that's why he's suing, right? Drake notably sued only UMG, the label he shares with Lamar. Rather than targeting Kendrick directly, his legal team claims the company intentionally promoted the false allegations for profit. So, saying that, yo, they showed him attention for that track. They didn't show me any attention for any of my tracks, right? The appeal asks, okay, so this is where it goes to the end, right? The appeal asked the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit to send the case back for trial. Drake wants a jury to decide whether Not Like Us contains defam, defam, uh, defamation statements of fact rather than protected opinion. UMG has until March 27 to file its response brief in the appeals court. The company hasn't commented on Drake's latest legal filing. Oh, Drake. So Drake is still angry, still emotional for this diss track, Not Like Us. So this is just dragging on. It's making content for everybody, including myself, right? Um, it's just continuing. It's just gonna make people talk, right? So if you heard what I was saying, it doesn't look good for like him and the hip hop now. That's why people could form an opinion and saying that Drake's not hip hop. That's what people could say. Drake is not hip hop, right? With all the stuff what's going on right now in the world, and now he's doing this shit now. Iceman album is supposed to come out. That's what people are thinking. It's gonna come out soon. I don't think Drake should come out with his album anytime soon. Right now he's fighting other case with Aiden Ross. They're accusing him of some type of illegal online gambling. People talking about Rico shit and all that. But now Drake wants to hit back with this whole defamation of character shit. Now, I don't know what people think, but he's not going by the rules of the culture of hip hop. He's not going by that. He's going by his own rules right now. And he doesn't give a damn, right? Drake, the biggest pop star in the world. I don't know. Not Like Us really hit him. So UMG They're saying, yo, because it didn't go his way, right? He wants to sue. One of the judges, like, they're not falling for it, but Drake wants people to fall for it, right? So Judge Vargas dismissed this case in October. That's that must have been the October before 2026. Dismissed the case, ruling that Lamar's lyrics were non-actionable opinion. What does that mean? Non-actionable opinion rather than statements of fact. So they're saying it's not fact, it's not for real, right? It's not real. No one accused really, like, Drake never been charged with a pedophile case or anything. So they're saying, why are you mad? But Drake's defense saying, even though that's defamation of his character, that made him look bad. It made certain people maybe believe that shit. And yes, there is people who are believing that shit. There's people bringing up all types of things about Drake, saying pedophile stuff. So that song really hurt him, right? Really hurt him. And what's next for Drake? The Iceman album. That's what's next for Drake. The Iceman album. So is Drake gonna have any diss tracks? That's what people are waiting to see. Will Drake actually do any diss tracks? I don't think he should even. I don't think so. It'll be hypocritical to do any diss tracks. ASAP Rocky just came out with his recent album, and he's dissed Drake. He has a campaign, ASAP Rocky, of talking about Drake on these podcasts because he had beef with Drake over woman. He admitted it's over woman. They were once friends, and now ASAP Rocky's new album is getting attention straight up because he's talking about Drake. Let's be straight up. It's because he's talking about Drake. That's why it's getting attention. Not because he's a great, he's a good artist, but it's not because he's so big, right? So these guys are getting attention, like J. Cole. I think he dropped a new album recently. I'm not sure. Called The Fall Off. I know he came out with a new single called Disc 2, Track 2, or some shit like that, right? So Drake is putting it out there that he's not finished and he wants to still sue UMG. His team is pushing to sue UMG. His team is still pushing for that. And he still wants to hit Kendrick, well, not Kendrick, UMG for the defamation of character stuff. Not Kendrick, though, directly. It's saying, yo, if I hit UMG, maybe that will punish Kendrick. But that's not going on, right? So we know how this started. They were going back and forth. There was nine tracks in the battle. Drake accused Kendrick of beating his wife and cheating on his wife. That track didn't do that good, right? I guess it didn't do that good. So he got angry when Kendrick dropped that bomb. They're not like us. He got angry, right? I don't know what people, well, I do know what people think about this because I've been seeing a lot of back and forth with, the fans. Like I said, the Drake stands, uh, the K bots. You go on Twitter, damn, there's a whole universe for Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Um, Drake is coming out with a new album soon. That's what people are expecting. Some people are expecting it to drop, Friday tomorrow. A lot of people are expecting his album to drop tomorrow. Will it? I don't know, right? But right now, Drake is probably he's in his feelings, man. He's in his feelings. So it said, I'm gonna bring it back. Drake originally sued UMG in January 2025 over the label's promotion of Not Like Us. The tracks, hooks, Certified Lover Boy, Certified Pedophile became a viral sensation during the explosive rap battle, right, between the two superstars, right? So it became viral, and that's why Drake is angry. He didn't expect Kendrick to really have a hit like that. I don't think so. He didn't expect it to go viral, that it would be playing in every club, that he would be performing it at the Super Bowl, and that like people be talking about it all the way up until 2026. So, like I said, Drake is in his feelings still. But I feel that I said his album would flop. I said his album would flop because of the lack of attention. Well, he's trying to get the attention with the streaming series, the Iceman thing. I didn't really think that worked too good, right? People are waiting for a new one. They're waiting for a new Iceman stream. Will he do it? I don't know. I don't think it's the right time to drop his album. You got ASAP Rocky, you got J. Cole, and that may kind of overshadow his album. His album will do numbers no matter what, but those two guys, especially J. Cole, more than what's his name, ASAP, will kind of, not make his album do as well. But yeah, yeah, people, Drake is in his feelings. What do you think about that? What's going on? Not Like Us was the bomb, what ended everything in the beef. Drake had Family Matters. I think that was when he dropped the Family Matters. He thought that that would be it, right? He thought it was over, but no, 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 no. So let me read once again. UMG has until March 27th to file its response, right? That's not too long from now. It's not that long. March 27th to file its response brief in the appeals court. The company hasn't commented on Drake's latest legal filing. So, is this part of Drake's rollout? You gotta think. Is this part of Mr. Drake Aubrey Graham's rollout? I want to know. This is something interesting. Is this part of his rollout? Because if this is part of your rollout, brother, it don't look good. If this is part of your rollout, it doesn't look good because what he's talking about, the hip hop shit, like this could change hip hop history if he was to win this, right? The Toronto rapper filed a 60-page appeal Wednesday. Holy shit, I didn't even know this. The Toronto rapper filed a 60-page appeal Wednesday seeking to overturn the October dismissal of his defamation lawsuit. Let me read that again. The Toronto rapper filed a 60-page appeal recently, this is just yesterday, right? Seeking to overturn the October dismissal, his defamation lawsuit. Drake's legal team argues that the U.S. District Judge, Janetta A. Vargas, created a dangerous categorical rule that shields all rap diss tracks from defamation claims. So he's saying because of his case, this is an example to shield all diss tracks from defamation. But this is hip hop. You came into a battle, Drake. Come on now. Like, that argument is weak in the culture unless you don't care about the culture. So, you know what? Glasses has something up on you, man. Glasses Malone does have something up on you because let me read it once again. The Toronto rapper filed a 60-page appeal Wednesday seeking the overturn of October's dismissal of his defamation lawsuit. The first lawsuit was thrown out, so he wants that overturned, right? And his legal team is arguing with the U.S. District, right, the judge, right, that this is creating a dangerous categorical rule that shields all rap diss tracks. So he's including everyone. It's like he's saying he's trying to fight for all of the rappers or whatever, the hip hop industry and shit. Sheesh. This is not good. This is not good, Drake. But I don't think Drake cares. Drake has made so much money in the last, whatever, 15, 16 years that maybe he feels he's above the culture, above hip hop, that he doesn't have to go by the rules or the culture, but he's saying, yo, he's fighting for this, for rap tracks, right? So if you lose and it goes viral, um, you could sue. If you feel that this is defamation, you could sue. Now, this will be history if this goes through. This will make history if Drake wins this, right? But so far, they kicked the shit out of the court. And right now, just recently, he's refiled so it could be overturned so that he could sue UMG. And by suing UMG, he's trying to, get some type of money from this. That's the main thing. Like by doing this defamation lawsuit, what does he want to get from this? It will be money. That's where it goes down. He wants to hurt them. He wants to show an example that you don't say his name, right, in any tracks. So no one can't diss Drake. That's where it's going right now. No one can't diss Drake. All hands off of Drake. Because if you diss Drake and your song goes viral, he's going to bring you to court. Listen to that. I don't know if anyone has put it like that. So if you diss Drake, right, and it goes viral, you're going to court because he's fighting for this right now. Damn, that's changing the culture, man. That's making people not want to do any diss tracks. That's some shit, isn't it? Right? The protection would apply regardless of how direct of damaging the accusations might be. According to the filing, Drake argues this gives artists and labels a free pass to make any false claims they want, as long as they deliver in a diss track format. All because he lost the battle. Damn, Drake. All because he lost the battle? This is crazy, man. This is crazy. A lot of people been covering this. Academics talks about this a lot. A lot of other content makers been talking about this. Bless up to What's the Dirt from Canada. He's one of the biggest ones who's been covering the Drake and the Kendrick Lamar beef for the last year or so. Like I said, it seems like it's longer than that. But What's the Dirt been doing it? He's been getting a lot of hate from other content makers because of it. I seen that guy from the company, man, Justin Hunt from um, Culture United. It's like a whole gang. They talk about not a gang, but it's a whole panel. They talk about hip hop, but Drake's been the most colorful one they talk about on Culture United. He's been There's been a lot of content makers getting money off of Drake, like getting popular off of Drake. I have to admit, a lot of content makers became popular from the Drake and the Kendrick Lamar beef. I have to admit, it brings attention to a lot of people, right? That's why Drake is kind of angry too, because he sees people talking about him constantly, right? And not in a good way, not in a good way. But yeah, they're accusing him of inflated streams recently with Aiden Ross. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't help that Aiden Ross is controversial too, and he's friends with Drake. They People are talking about RICO, but it's really a civil suit. So Drake is basically saying, if you're gonna come at me, I'm gonna come at you. That's what's going on. That's why I feel these are connected. The whole civil suit, the RICO shit is the back and forth. It's the back and forth. So now Drake is hitting back UMG, right? He's hitting them back. But is this the rollout? Is this the album rollout? People are talking, yo, when's the Iceman album coming out? Will it come out Friday? Well, this is part of the rollout by by suing UMG, appealing to sue UMG in court. So this is the rollout what Drake is talking about. This is part of the Iceman promo. Right now, I'm saying my advice, I said it in a other stream, that Drake needs to wait to come out with this album. Don't have your album come out around this controversy, because people are gonna nitpick. They're gonna look at your success, if it is successful, or your numbers, and they're gonna hit you back, because right now you are doing all of this stuff about suing UMG. You know what I mean? You're doing all of this stuff about suing UMG. You're not giving up. So the Iceman album, like I said, I was saying it a couple times. He shouldn't come out with this album until 6 months. Make 6 months pass. You're in a legal battle. Both ways going. Don't come out with this album or it will flop. As I said a couple months ago, it will flop. Now, if Drake comes out, like I said, I think it will flop. It will get attention. People will listen to it, but they're gonna really dissect the album, and I think will hurt the sales. It will hurt the sales, right? So the whole thing about this lawsuit, right, is to basically hit them back in their pockets. Revenge for them promoting Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. When people, please subscribe, like, comment. I got the invite link to anybody who got knowledge about this. You're welcome to join, right? So some people will argue that the pedophile allegation, they took it too far. Kendrick took it too far. Some people will argue that, right, that he took it too far, and that's that's against everything. But I said it earlier in the stream. He's basically challenging the culture, Drake. He's challenging hip hop, Drake. Right now, he's challenging it. And he's challenging UMG at the same time. He's making certain people right about this. He's saying that anybody who has a diss track and it becomes viral, you can sue them. And that's what it is. So you cannot sue Drake. Untouchable. That's what he wants. He doesn't want no one to talk about him. Straight up, right? Like I said, I got the invite link. You could to join this live if you got the knowledge, right? So he doesn't want anybody to talk about it. I don't know if anybody's gonna break it down like how I'm breaking it down, but he's trying to represent the culture, but that's not representing the culture. Straight up, I'm sorry. Drake is the biggest artist in the world right now, biggest pop artist in the world. But is this representing the culture, man? Right? I could go right back to where he said something. Drake, he's saying they argue EMG relentlessly marketed the track in ways that mislead customers and cause serious harm to Drake's reputation. So he's basically saying it has caused serious harm to his reputation, the track. They're admitting it caused a lot of harm. But guess what? In a way, it promoted him, because from the whole battle, all I'm seeing that Drake has been breaking records, been having the highest streams, like all types of records. Almost every day I'm seeing this. So how did it really affect his reputation if he has like the highest streams in a lot of category, right? So I'll read this again. The appeal warns that the lower court's decision could have massive consequences for hip hop. Drake's team says the ruling creates an unprecedented and overboard categorical rule that statements in rap diss tracks can never constitute statements of facts. Drake, what are you doing? Some people say he's right to be doing this. Some people will say he's right to be doing all of this, but now you got people like I said, Glasses Malone and Culture United and other people could come out and criticize you for this, because this is what you are saying or your team is saying. And you even got the judge who dismissed this, saying it's basically they can't take this seriously because yo, it's not serious, right? Saying it's the consumers don't take it serious. He's saying the consumers is taking it serious, but they're saying Doesn't look good. What is he trying to do? Is this the rollout? This must be the rollout, man. The rollout is bringing suing UMG. That's what it is. If you like Drake or you hate Drake, whatever. The rollout for Drake's new album is suing UMG. It will be victorious if it goes to what this appeal goes through. It'll be victorious for him, and maybe that's his decision if he'll drop his album. His whole decision of this appeal will probably be the decision if he drops this album. So if they dismiss this case again, he won't drop his album. That's what I'm putting out there. If the case goes through, right, and it goes through like whatever the courts and they're listening to what he's saying or his people are saying, then he'll probably drop the album. That's what this thing is. He just announced this on Wednesday. Today's Thursday, right? It's crazy, people. It's crazy. Now, I know that there's all these other bigger things going on in the world and people care about that. But before even this whole thing with, like I said, Donald Trump, it was this. It was this hip hop battle. It was the biggest shit. It's still the biggest shit going on in social media besides seeing the orange guy, right? It's still the biggest shit. But it doesn't help right now, like I said, that Drake's album is called the Ice Man album. The Iceman album. People could diss him just for that. And people are probably going to make memes and all types of jokes about his album, right? They're going to make all types of jokes. But yo, respect to Drake because I'm from the six, from Toronto, and I seen Drake's come up. People from Toronto seen Drake's come up and know how hard it is for a Canadian to be to be at the top of, if you want to call it rap, some people, or hip hop, or even just the music industry. It's very hard for a Canadian and urban music to be number one. So part of this is they probably want to dethrone Drake on the other side, like saying this guy been there too long. He's been around for 16 years. He's been getting all types of awards, and we're tired of seeing this guy. Let's make somebody else the better, and that's Kendrick. Like, let's make somebody else get the spotlight. I don't know what you guys think of this, what's going on, if you care about this, but if you care about hip hop culture, um, rap culture, this can hurt the culture, especially battle rap. Like Drake says, he studies battle raps, right? That was something what was said by or mentioned by Drake because he likes battle rap. He studies battle rap, but now he's suing UMG because of a battle rap song. Not Like Us is basically a battle rap song, right? To me. And only because it went viral and it didn't go in his favor that Kendrick benefited off of this song, right? And he didn't benefit off of any songs. So now he wants revenge. Mr. Drake Aubrey Graham. Will he win? I don't know. Hopefully something goes through. But yo, enough of this guy, right? Thanks for joining. This is the Down to Earth podcast, the Down to Earth network with your host, Sean Myrie. I'm out.